Hello church, Nick here for Daily Hope. We're in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 today, that often quoted but rarely fully understood passage of scripture. There, Paul, the apostle, is writing with a pastor's heart to the church at Corinth. And he's writing to them and he says, friends, be faithful in your marriages, avoid divorce, but most importantly, live lives of devotion to the Lord Most High. It begins with this word where Paul says it's good for a man to abstain from sexual relations with a woman or sexual relations with one's wife, to not get married, to live celibate lives. Over the couple of thousands of years, as we've been in that wake, of course, there have been monasteries, there have been nunneries. Even today, there's online networks where they elevate celibacy above any other way of living. Now, I will say this, that there are some, and Paul talks about this, some who are blessed with the gift of singleness, with the gift of celibacy, and they can live these lives with their focus on God and His mission, undivided attention. They don't need to worry about their spouses, about their kids. There are some who have that calling. And I also know there is heartache involved whenever we talk about this stuff. There's friends who are not married who want to get married. There's friends who are married who wish they weren't married. And like I've said before, we have some marriage counselling for you. But the most important thing here is to live these lives that are focused on God. I think the key to this whole passage, in fact, comes down here in verse 35. He says, I don't want to restrict you, but I want you to live in a right way, in undivided devotion to the Lord. Undivided devotion to the Lord. Nothing else hindering us. And you can do that whether you're married, whether you're unmarried. That's the central thrust of this passage. Tim Keller says that idolatry is not just the obvious things. Idolatry can also be when we elevate something that is merely good to the level of something that is the ultimate good. The ultimate good, of course, is God Himself and His specific, intentional call upon each of our lives. I see marriage idolatry in a lot of churches. I see marriage idolatry in a lot of our, social things, our media, the movies, the rom-coms, all of that. Friends, marriage is good, but it is not the ultimate good. In the end, the real thing is for us to focus on the Lord. Now, there were some contextual things going on here in the church in Corinth. There was all sorts of weird beliefs about celibacy, that somehow it was more holy, that somehow humans would eventually become like angels, these asexual beings, all of this sort of stuff. There was also a famine going on. Maybe that's why Paul is talking about this present hardship, this present distress. Maybe he was referring to his belief and the early church's belief that Jesus was going to return. It was imminent. And in fact, all of us, all the time, should live with the expectation that Jesus could be coming back, and soon. Those t-shirts, Jesus is coming, look busy, are almost correct. It should be Jesus is coming, let's get busy. Because friends, we have a work to do. And it's going to take us being devoted to the Lord, having undivided attention and devotion to Him. So my prayer for you today, whether you are married, whether you are not married, whether you are post-married, whether you are yearning to be or not yearning to be, my prayer for you is that you would live today and you would live this week with undivided attention to the call that God has on your life. You be blessed, church, knowing that you are loved, knowing that you have a place in God's family and that we have work to do. Take care.